And what are we going to do this time? We're going to do a special pack and point video where I'm actually going to do not just a point and then like talking straight at the camera and then open a pack at the end. I'm actually going to grab a box to open, and I'm going to open it while I'm talking through my pack and point. Why don't we do this guy? Why don't we do a Modern Masters 2017, because I think that'll be a lot of fun. Let's get to it. Okay, here we go. Here is the Modern Masters 2017 edition. This is very cool. I was able to buy this box for $190 or $180. No, $185. I think that's what I bought this at. And they're going for much more now. But you know, I just don't really want to like break it up and sell it. There's cards inside here I need. Or sorry, I don't want to just sell it as is. There's cards inside of it that I need, so I'm actually going to open it, see what's in there that I might actually need, because again, I go for playing first. And stuff that's extra that I don't need, I'll just probably put up on my eBay store. And I'll put the link for my eBay store below in the comments. So here we go. Why don't we start on this package first? So I have a full set of fetch lands. If I find fetch lands in here, those are going to go up in the store. I need Tarmogoyf though, and I need Snapcaster Mage. So anyways, about the pack and point. The actual topic I'd like to talk about. So many good topics. Oh my gosh. I'm going to get distracted by this. This might end up being a really bad idea because there's so many cool cards inside here. Okay, so let's go. Let's get our strategy down. Uncommons, rare, commons, and then the pack. Okay, and then this goes over here. So I want to talk about where I see the formats going, all of the Magic formats, in case like Wizards goes out of business or if they never go out of business, because I think that's a pretty important topic. Wizards is doing a lot of things right now that a lot of people consider to be kind of like swing for the... Oh, Path of Exile. They consider to be like swing for the fences kind of stuff, where Wizards of the Coast is just making big changes all over the place to try to like, you know, figure out how to like maximize their profits. They're obviously in like some kind of financial trouble. Oh, look, there's their foil already. And again, this is so distracting because I keep on getting excited about the cards. So what's obvious is, how is Wizards of the Coast going to... No, not how is they going to stay in business. How is Wizards of the Coast going to manage all the tournaments? What's going to happen to all the different formats if they go bust? What's going to happen to card values? I think it entirely comes down to how much people play with the cards. If people enjoy the cards, I think they're going to maintain value. And on the topic of are people going to enjoy the cards, well, that depends on whether or not people actually create formats that can still use the cards. Oh, there's a Scalding Tarn right there. There's a big card. There we go. Very nice. So if you look at like the old school tournaments, old school cards, I mean, a lot of them, like the revised cards and the old like original print Arabian Nights and Legends and all of them, they didn't really have any value for like a longest time. And then this tournament format comes along where people can actually play them again. And all of a sudden, like, everybody's excited about those cards again. And then the value starts shooting up. So what I think it really comes down to is, are people going to play the cards themselves? Now, if there's no Wizards of the Coast out there, there's going to be no official formats. But if you think about what Old School has proven now, I would say, hands down, Old School has proven is that you can have a tournament format that's ran by players that has no control from Wizards of the Coast, and if the people love the format, they're going to play it, and if they're going to play it, they're going to want cards for it, and if they want cards for it, that's cool, foil rare right there, Summoning Trap. If people want the cards for that format, then they're going to have some value that's maintained. And so the same kind of thing that I think is done for Old School, I really honestly believe could be done for other formats as well. Now, it's funny because I remember there's a video that Tara Sophia from Magical Tabletop Girls, I remember her saying a comment like this in like one of her videos, that like, you just watch, you know, those those financial guys are going to talk about doing this to other formats, and it's funny because, like, I totally agree, but not for the purpose of, like, cards going up in value and for monetizing it, but for the purpose of, like, just people continuing to play and what that's going to do. I've also honestly always seen it this way, that someday, honestly, I thought it was going to be power creep. I thought the cards were going to get more and more powerful all the time, and eventually they're going to make these cards that are just stupid, ridiculous powerful, and that was going to ruin the formats. And once the formats got ruined, then it was going to be a case of like, well, you know, in order to keep actually playing and enjoying, players themselves need to organize around like smaller formats, smaller card pools, cut it down to actually keep the whole game playable. So I honestly always figured it was going to go this way to begin with. But old school, I think, is amazing because it kind of proved that the model is possible, if you will. It proved that there is a future in that kind of perspective. So what I honestly think could happen is, say, Wizards keeps going with this crazy stuff. Their sales go down, which would be terrible, by the way. Wizards, knock it off. If you're watching my video, just knock it off, guys. Enough of the politics. Just make a good game. But anyways, if they end up going downhill and they close their doors, then I think players are going to not just give up on Magic. We love it too much, right? Look at me sitting here opening up packs and enjoying how much fun these things are. I think the players are going to organize their own formats. They're going to set up their own rules. If cards are broken that they want to play that are fun, that's what they're going to do. They're going to figure out a way to get those cards back into the format. That's exactly what players want to do with like Chaos Orb, right? People loved Chaos Orb, and they hated the fact that it was like removed from the format. So they came up with their own errata. They fixed the rules, brought it back in, and now it's like one of like the iconic cards in the entire format, right? I think people will do that with other formats. They'll make their own player-based tournaments. They'll set up their own player rules for them. They'll agree on their own ban-restricted lists, and then somebody who's got a lot of free time and is hopefully pretty smart will organize up how those things are going to work, and then people will play it. And Stony Silence is a great card. Then when people start playing those formats, people will rush into those formats just because, you know, it's the chance to finally use all those old cards again, and there's nostalgia there, and they miss it and stuff like that. I remember I was saying this to Rudy and Dan and Open Boosters and Daniel Chang and like all these guys once when we were at Vegas, like the first time we all kind of got to meet and like hang out. I remember telling those guys, like, if you played with like Urza's Legacy, right? That's your beta, right? That's your first format. That's what you're nostalgic about. And there's people all across the board that get nostalgic about the formats that they started with, because that was like some of their early memories, and that's when they discovered it. No, look at that. And it was just such a, oh, Blood Moon, there we go. It was just such a cool thing for them to actually discover Magic and get into it. So there's all these memories attached to it. And so the same thing the old schoolers always talk about, you know, with like, you know, the memories and the nostalgia of it. That's going to happen for other formats. So, and actually more to the point, I really hope not only that it happens, but in a very strong way. Because there's so many cards that are printed. Just because Wizards of the Coast goes out of business, there's no reason to just close the doors and never play this game again, never enjoy it. We might as well actually keep playing this game. I was really hoping that was going to be a better Mythic. And keep enjoying and playing this game and having fun with it and make our own formats and stuff. Now, after that happens, just imagine what would happen to the price of, say, Mirrodin cards. If all of a sudden there was like a Mirrodin block that was made, and maybe it had one more block added into it, and maybe at least one standard edition, and people said, this is our artifact block or our Mirrodin block. And they started actually just like playing those cards. Well, people are going to go out and get those cards. And many of them right now, you could buy for like just a few cents a piece. They're all pretty cheap. But if a format like that is created and people start running towards it, well, you know that the prices are just going to go up like crazy for those cards. And especially when you've got like a card that's like, you know, here's this uncommon, it's like a 5-cent card, but now it's a format, and when you remove all these other good cards in that format, now suddenly maybe this one card is like a powerful card again, and everybody wants that card. Cards that, it's kind of like the effect with Pauper. Cards that didn't used to be very good are now very good because they've got a place to live, right? So I truly, as I'm sitting here talking to you guys, I think that's a direction that Magic not only can go, but probably will go. And if it does go that direction, then there's going to be a huge resurgence in value of those old cards. And so if I'm right about this speculation, then you know what that means for each of you right now? It means go get those cards. If you can go on TCG Player, Star City Games, Card Castle, any one of these websites, and you can go buy a lot of those cards for pennies on the dollar. It's like, I mean, what's a better deal? Going and buying like a new booster pack at like $4 a piece for most of them, or going out and buying like, 15 cards that are good playable cards for like a nickel a piece or 10 cents a piece. Well, of course that's better, right? So I think now is a good time for you guys to go to like these websites and these local stores just to deplete their collections. Just go in and just buy the stuff that you're missing so you can actually build decks. Please, guys, don't use this like investment advice. Don't go start buying out the market because, first of all, it's not going to work, right? There's millions of cards printed, right? You're going to have to spend so much money to actually buy out like markets and like certain cards and certain blocks. And if that doesn't work, you're going to spend tons of money. I do not advise buying it out, any of this stuff. Not only because I don't want to see that happen, but also because it's stupid. You're going to lose money because you can't speculate that well. Because who even knows? I mean, maybe like, Onslaught block will be the next big block that everybody just loves playing. Maybe Mirrodin, which you put all this money into, nobody wants to play because they don't want to deal with Skull Clamp or something. So you don't really know. So don't go speculate on it. But if you could spend $50 to go get like a lot of really... Hey, there we go. Another search land. If you can spend $50 to go actually get cards that are just fantastic in that block and just a ton of them, and you're able to build decks, and then at some point, once those kinds of formats actually start, now you can really move into it. Well, that's a really good thing. And I think you're going to be really glad that you did it. So I better finish this up because my wife just tried to call, and she's going to want to know why I didn't answer. So I'm going to be, hey, sweetie, I was in the middle of the video. Okay, so Wart the Raid Mother, Pitfall Trap. Just a few packs left. So yeah, I really think this is a direction that Magic is probably going to go as time goes on. I've basically done the exact same thing. You guys have probably seen, like in like my collection videos, that I've already gone in and bought tons of cards that I really, there's another foil rare, that I thought were like really good cards. And I've been fleshing out my collection. I've shown like how many cards are in. I've even offered for people to download my collection. So I've believed this is where things are going to go for an awful long time. But I just haven't specifically made this point in a video and told people that this is the way I think it's going to go. So this is that video. I'm now telling you this is where I think Magic's going to go. I think people are eventually going to make block formats, and they're going to have their own rule sets, and it's going to be Wizards of the Coast independent. They're going to make their own communities. They're going to make their own rules. They're going to moderate their own tournaments, and they're going to have a great time. And it's going to take card values of old cards that are like 5 cents a piece and start putting them in demand again. And maybe they won't even hardly go up at all. Maybe they'll go to 50 cents a piece. But the point is that they'll go back in demand because people are actually playing them. And that's really what it comes down to, right? People actually playing and wanting the cards. Because, oh, there's a Serum Visions. That's great. It's an uncommon, but I've gotten one so far. I don't know if there's been any others in the box. Come on, WoTC. That's ridiculous. There should be way more in a box if that's like an uncommon. So anyways, that's the direction I think it's going to go. And I heavily recommend that if you can spend a couple $100 and go out and buy tons of cards from old out-of-print sets that are pennies on the dollar right now, go get them, right? Go finish your sets. Go get those cards. Because you're probably at some point going to really wish you did, because I just see this being the direction it's going to go. Wow. Boy, I really struck out on this box. Just 2 fetch lands and like almost nothing else. Probably should have just sold it sealed, right? Because I'm not sure I got very much stuff that I didn't actually already have. Oh well. Phantasmal Image and Battle Right Shaman. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. Bye.